But for the record, today is Sunday, and some people call it Super Bowl Sunday. They don't just call it Sunday, they call it Super Bowl Sunday. But whatever you decide to call it, it is Sunday, and it's February the 12th, and it's just a little bit after 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you've all been invited here to hear a presentation. We have this presentation every Sunday, and for some time now, we've had the privilege of having one of the most brilliant minds on the planet join us on most of our Sundays. So we get a chance to talk with Dr. Prasad in just a few minutes. But for the record, my name is Jonathan Jones. It's my pleasure and my privilege to be your host and moderator for the afternoon or the evening. And this discussion is designed to provide you with information that you can use to take into consideration when making decisions about your health and well-being. Keep in mind that as we talk about various products, our focus today is going to be about CBD. But no matter what engaged global product we talk about, we're not presenting it as a treatment or cure for any disease. In fact, all the information that's being presented here today is for information, education, and entertainment purposes only. We've not presented these statements to the FDA for their evaluation. So don't think in terms of everything here has been scrutinized. I'm not going by a script, and Dr. Prasad is a professor. So he's forgotten more than most of us know. So just keep that in mind. Take this information into consideration when you're making decisions about your health and well-being, okay? You'll hear some testimonials. Testimonials are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, before I introduce Dr. Prasad to our discussion, I thought it would be good to just give you an idea as to why the subject of CBD is significant. There are actually some times when people will think that a particular topic that we might choose to discuss, and Dr. Prasad, I'm just blown away sometimes by this gentleman's willingness to join us in our discussions and to have a conversation with us and share with us what he knows about CBD. We're very fortunate. Dr. Prasad formulated one of the products it's called CBD Boost. And that's where some of our attention is going to go today. So hang on one second here because my screen is trying to come back up. I have a document that I'd love for you guys to take a look at. But I tell you what we'll do. While we're waiting for my screen to reboot itself, how about we share one testimonial that we want to share with you. And Freddie, if you're available right now, could you please come to the fore so we can hear you share your story. She's had an interesting experience using CBD, and we really want her to share her story. So please, Freddie, go ahead.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Yes, I have. I've been, can you hear me good? Because I'm having trouble again with my internet out here.
Yes, we can.
Good. Okay. For years, I've suffered with anxiety and disorder, anxiety and depression disorder. I extended from my childhood, it seems, and got worse. But at some point in 1992, it got so bad that I was diagnosed. Went to the doctor and was diagnosed with major depression at that time because I was also suicidal. And of course, I've been on many medications for that. And I'd get a little better and then I get worse, get better and get worse. But of course, life happened. I think one of the things that really affected me, I lost a baby girl to cancer. And so I went through the radiation and chemotherapy and all of that with her. And then just things in life. So it just got progressively worse. And I had to be hospitalized several times because of it, because I was suicidal. And eventually of course I was taking therapy, but I got into an intensive therapy program. And with that one, I learned to manage my anxiety and depression, but they also changed my diagnosis to a bipolar 2. The difference between bipolar 1 and bipolar 2 is that with bipolar 1, people have manics. They're up, they'll go low and then they'll go real high and real high. In my instance, I have bipolar 2. I go high seldom and I don't go real high, but I stay low. I go low and I will stay low. I have been in a low for as long as a year. That means I did not leave my house, did not leave my room for a year, no more than to, go to the kitchen and eat and go to the bathroom. So I'm saying all that to say that it was really bad. In September of 2022, my anxiety level was bad. Depression was bad. I had gone into a low. And then I was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. Well, as you all know, or some of you may not know, that I was introduced to Dr. Prasad's products. And I started using the EMF, the methylated formula, Brain Boost, and probiotic. And they helped tremendously with my heart issue. They also calmed my anxiety quite a bit. But then I knew from reading and also from the way that I was feeling that I had to be on the CBD. So I ordered the CBD and start using it. I feel a calmness now in my life that I haven't felt in years. I was the kind of person that I thought I was hot-tempered because I could go off like that about something. Well, it turns out that it was anxiety, high anxiety levels. I didn't know how to manage my feelings. And I've changed from that since I've been using the products and introduced the CBD. I'm much calmer. I have had things to happen since I've been using the products that would have sent me into a rage or something. I don't know, whatever that is. Any of you out there that suffer from anxiety, you know what I'm talking about. This is no joke. It completely changes your life. Matter of fact, I can look at people and tell a lot of times those who suffer from anxiety and those who think they suffer from anxiety. It's a completely different thing. But taking the CBD has really made a change in my life. I want to thank Dr. Prasad for his formulas. They are amazing. I have been on, you name the medication, I've probably been on it. And I'm not on any medications now other than I'm not on any medications. Really, I'm not on any medications. I take Dr. Prasad's products and I take my CBD. And I just took a CBD because I was trying to prepare for this, to give this testimonial, right? And I start to shake. I have tremors. It was so bad at one time that the food would just jump and I couldn't hardly hold my plate because it would jump. But I felt it. I knew it was going to happen but guess what? I told my husband, where's my CBD? So here it is. I just swallowed a pill just before I turned this camera on. It is an amazing product. If you know of anybody that have anxiety, I'm not talking about just nervousness. I'm talking about something that takes over your life. And it has taken over my life for, I would imagine 50 years, really, because there were times that I didn't know what it was. But I feel a calmness now. The only one thing left, and it's happening, I do go on those lows and I suffer from agoraphobia, which is sometimes connected with that, which means that I won't leave my house. So I haven't left my house for months, right? But I'm getting there. Well, I take that back. I did go maybe 2 times out. And the one time I went out, I had a car accident. Man, I went out that day and I tore up 2 cars. 3 cars. I hit 3 cars. I didn't tell my, I hit 3 cars in one day. And I was like, where is my CBD? Right. And it calmed, you know, it helped calm me down. I didn't have a panic attack, and I didn't come home and have to get in the bed and stay in the bed, cover my head up for days, people, for days. I haven't done that. I haven't done that. I sleep like normal people. I can't even tell you how that is. Like, it's like so wonderful. I take my green formula at night just before I lay on the bed, the original, before I lay my head down. I sleep nights. I used to didn't sleep nights. I'd sleep during the day, but it wasn't a restful sleep, but I didn't sleep nights. The thoughts in my head were just constant. I always tell people it's like somebody take a snow globe, shake it up, and that's the way it's in there. It never settles, but it's settled since I've been taking the CBD. So yeah, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Freddie, thank you very much. We certainly appreciate your,
do you know?
by the way,
what
yeah,
kind of dose she
Freddie,
was taking?
how many CBD were you taking, Freddie?
At first, I was taking like 5 or 6 a day. You know, I mean, really, my anxiety was so bad that
that's okay.
I wake up taking them, and I do the CEE, I do the EMF the same way. I take it all day because I still have a nervous condition. I'm still
no. That's okay. We understand.
That's okay because these are non-toxic. So
yeah. When I feel I need it, just like just now, you know, I'm like, give me my CBD, and I pop it, right? So yeah, it's wonderful. It's like a life that I feel like I never got a chance to live my life, you know.
This is very important. Quality of life is very important.
Very good.
Yes, it is. It is. And I've spent so many years sleeping and angry and for no reason, but I'm thankful to Dr. Prasad for these formulations. And I say, try it, people. I know you know somebody in your life that suffers from anxiety. This world that we live in brings on anxiety. So yeah.
No question about it. But thank you very much, Freddie, for sharing your story. And I thought that was going to be a perfect way to lay the foundation for this, because I wanted folks to understand products that Dr. Prasad have presented to us have tremendous benefits and tremendous value, even if you think it's a subject that has no value to you. But I also want to show this to you before we introduce Dr. Prasad. This was a study that was printed, that was shared, posted in January the 10th, 2010. You can see what it says. Oregon State research shows that hemp compound prevents coronavirus from entering human cells. Now, this discussion is not about coronavirus, but I just want you to see the research that's being done on this particular product. And there's just one thing in here that we'll get Dr. Prasad to comment on this, and no doubt he'll have something to say about it later in his discussion. But here's what they found. Here's what the researchers found. They found that a pair of cannabinoid acids bind to the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein, blocking a critical step in the process of the virus that the virus uses to infect people. That's huge. And look at this paragraph right here. I marked it off earlier so you guys could see it. And I'm showing this the exact, and I'll put the reference in the description on YouTube. So if anybody wants to go back to it, but my computer's been acting up, so it's not cooperating. I had the whole reference saved up there on the screen there for you, but it's not cooperating right now. But look at what it says, right? Look at the highlighted part. It's interpreting that first sentence that was stated there. Any part of the infection and replication cycle is potential target for antiviral intervention. Anyway, that means cell entry inhibitors like the acids from hemp could be used to prevent SARS-CoV-2 infection and also shorten infections by preventing virus particles from infecting human cells. They bind to the spike proteins so that those proteins can't bind to ACE2 enzyme, which is abundant in the outer membrane of endothelial cells in the lungs and other organs. So that's huge, folks. And I'm real curious to hear what Dr. Prasad is going to say to us when it comes to those types of benefits, of potential benefits that CBD may have to offer. So I'd like to now formally introduce to our discussion Dr. Prasad. Dr. Prasad was the professor of the University of Colorado School of Medicine for some 30 years, director of vitamin and cancer research. So if we pause right there for a second, you realize that the caliber of gentleman here who's formulating these products is a scientist. This is pure science, not some college graduate that's trying to make a name for himself. This man has already made a name for himself. He's the one that's formulated these products. He was a member of the British Society of Medicine, Nobel Peace Prize nominating committee in the candidates of medicine. That's huge. World's first radiation biology PhD. His products have been awarded 7 US patents and more on the way. There's patents pending right now. He discovered the anti-cancer potency of vitamin E succinate, which, by the way, happens to be a key component in microdaily. Dr. Prasad is the author of 32 books and has been published more than 250 times and many in peer-reviewed publications. And these are just some of the books that Dr. Prasad has written. So Dr. Prasad, once again, I say to you, welcome, 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 and thank you very much for joining us on a Sunday afternoon when there's so many other things that most folks could be doing with their time. We appreciate your sharing your wealth of knowledge and information with us. So thank you again.
Thank you, Jonathan. I always enjoy every Sunday, 2 o'clock, working with you and your group, which has a huge follower. And so this is my great pleasure to be with you.
Oh,
and
trust me, Dr. Prasad, when I say they didn't come here to hear me, they came here to hear you. I guarantee you that. But let me ask you 2 questions before you start sharing with us. First, what can you tell us about Freddie Ivory and her story? Can you give us some idea as to what might have happened with her with this anxiety disorder that she was experiencing?
Yes. And some of the medication they were getting is called a serotonin reuptake inhibitor. This is a prescription drug. It provides some benefit, but as you were saying, that also provides some harmful effect. And so, but CBD does exactly the same. Namely, it acts as a inhibitor of reuptake of serotonin. And serotonin is the neurotransmitter produced in the brain, which calms you down, so you don't have anxiety and depression. In addition to that, CBD also directly, not through a receptor, stimulates dopamine. As you know, dopamine makes you, if you high dopamine, it makes you very happy. And so CBD has a double function than the prescription drug, which is a anxiety drug that doesn't have that multiple action. But in this case, we have a double action because it improves the serotonin uptake as well as the dopamine. But also it is very important that it also acts as an antagonistic of glutamine. As you know, glutamine is a very important neurotransmitter, but when there are excess amount of produced and released, they call you hyperactivity. Like you see the symptom of ADHD or autism, and even adult ADHD, become very hyperactive. So serotonin acts as an inhibitor, so the glutamate doesn't increase in amount and does not release it. So it has a very important function in terms of releasing the glutamate. And so that's very interesting. In one hand, it acts as an agonist, means it stimulates the production of, say, for example, dopamine, which makes you happy. It also not only acts as an inhibitor of reuptake, but it also directly stimulates the amount of serotonin that your neuron can make. And more serotonin you have, so you have a 2 pathway of increasing it.
Wow.
And the third pathway is that also that it blocks glutamate neurotransmitter production. And so CBD has enormous benefit on this kind of issue. And
that's amazing.
It is amazing because, and very interesting, how CBD was discovered. It was interesting how it was discovered in the early 90s. when people were wondering,
Hang on, Dr. Prasad, we got some background noise. Okay, go ahead.
no, I said that it is interesting to know how CBD was discovered very recently in terms of a scientific discovery. In early 90s, when people were taking a lot of, marijuana plant, and they used to have brain effects. So sometimes thought that why it is happening. And then they found out that, well, they have what is called an endocannabinoid system. And an endocannabinoid system can be stimulated by CBD. And so, because in addition to antioxidant defense system that our body has, that we know a great deal about that by this time, but our body also has another defense mechanism, is endocannabinoid system. And endocannabinoid system can be stimulated by CBD. And so it is very important that CBD has important functions in all kind of things. And as you know, FDA has approved and CBD and at a dose of 750 milligram per day for people who have a seizure, frequency of seizure. And so I have recommended, it depends upon the people's health condition. Some people are happy with 25, but up to 200 to 300 milligram of CBD has no toxicity or no adverse side effects. And hemp plant that you mentioned, if you have a marijuana plant, there are 20% is a THC there, and see, they have also CBD,
right?
But it's very small amount of. But hemp plant has a 0.3% THC, means
negligible, almost nothing.
And our product has been isolated from a hemp plant, and is double purified, and so it has no trace of THC.
That's interesting, because I wanted to ask you about that. When you mentioned all the neurological benefits that Freddie Ivory was getting,
yes,
I really want to just try to isolate that thought for everybody who's here, that did not involve THC in any way.
Not at all. Not at all. And yeah, this is a very important point. And so it not even a trace person in this plant has a very little, 0.3%, as opposed to 20% in a marijuana plant. And so 0.3% is very little. But even that one, during purification process, CBD, so it is highly purified with no trace of, even a trace of THC, so you can be assured. So whatever effect that she was getting it is all 100% CBD. And the reason was getting, because it has effect. Their serotonin level was up, dopamine level was up, so that they feel happy. She feels happy, and and not many agents can do two at the same time. That's
powerful. That's powerful. So there's no toxicity to it. So if she took 10 a day, it wouldn't hurt her.
No.
I know I take personally, I've been taking usually 2 at night, and I mean, it popped me into a coma. Nothing will wake me up. But when I wake up in the morning, I don't feel like a truck ran over me. I feel like I'm ready to go.
Yeah, me too.
So it's I like that part of it. So it doesn't give me a dry, a groggy feeling.
Right. But that's the thing. I mean, this is, I think many people don't appreciate that CBD first is non-toxic, and it acts on a neuron, and 2 different types of neuron. One is serotonin neuron, one is dopamine neuron. For one neuron, serotonin, the CBD has to work through its receptor. And so that's one. But CBD directly stimulates dopamine receptor. So you produce more dopamine, then you are happy. No other prescription drug can do these 2 at the same time.
That's powerful. So you may have some more that you want to share with us, and that's fine. Whatever else you want to tell us. But can I ask you just one more question here about that study that came out of Oregon?
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us? Is there any relevance to CBD actually being able to bind to the spike 2?
Yeah, I think there was, in a cell culture model that they did this study, that that when you add the viruses and CBD, it binds it. And as you know, when you bind with this spike protein, it cannot bind with the receptor ACE2, AEC2. And so, and if it doesn't bind it doesn't get into the cell. And it looks like when it gets into the cell, it also blocks the replication. But here is the combination. But remember, last time I was talking to you that in our product, we have a glutathione elevating agent as well as an acetylcysteine.
Right. That's all in the micro daily.
Micro daily, yeah. But that also, but maybe the CBD and glutathione or N-acetylcysteine or NAC is working by different mechanism of binding.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Because remember last time I said that glutathione and N-acetyl also binds.
Yes. Yes.
And not only binds it, but it also does prevent the replication.
Yes.
And third thing it does, it reduces the so-called production of pro-inflammatory cytokine or cytokine storm.
Right.
The CBD has not been shown to do it. CBD is so if you combine those together, then they bound at different sites. Make sure sometimes you miss, in a body system, sometimes you miss few viruses,
That's right.
If you have combination, then you know that you are taking care from two different mechanisms, and you can bind almost 100%. You see what I mean?
Well, and that's exactly the reason why I wanted to go down this road with you, Dr. Prasad, because I think everybody needs to understand that there are multiple reasons why today, especially that we have for taking microdaily and CBD. So you just mentioned two things in microdaily that bind to the spike protein, and now a third one. So we have three different things, three different technologies binding the spike protein, potentially our body not to have that thing attach itself to our lungs.
Right, exactly.
That's huge, Dr. Prasad.
Yeah, and sometimes, like one time you were mentioning, or some people were mentioning that sometimes, if you have recovered from viruses and the spike protein, when the virus gets dead, then some of those spike protein active, they're still floating around. And when body sees the spike protein as a foreign object, whether it is a part of virus or independently, yes, I have to produce some extra things. So what these kind of agent does, they bind it, any leftover, no matter where the spike protein is, whether it is free from the viruses or it's a part of the viruses. You see what I mean? So sometimes because when a lot of cell killing going on, virus killing going on, few viruses which are there, their spike protein can just dislodge themselves, and free protein in the blood goes to all over the body.
Right.
So the combination of two has a very powerful mechanism of protection, providing protection.
That's huge. There are naturopathic doctors right now that are just beating their head against the wall trying to find ways to reduce the amount of spike protein in the bloodstream.
Yeah.
We've got three simple ways to do it.
Exactly.
It's beautiful.
And then if you do that, then some of the late effect of viruses among survivor, like brain fog and some other issue, anxiety, depression, these kind of things, go away.
That's powerful. That's incredible. Another question for you. I had some feedback from one client that they claimed that they were having some adverse effect from CBD. She said that she was feeling loopy all day. Is it possible that CBD can add to a person's feeling of kind of loopiness?
What is loopiness? I don't know. What is loopiness?
Loopy is when a person, to be quite frank with you, what she's describing sounds to me like someone who has THC. Where they're feeling a little bit,
Oh, I feel like that. You're drunk.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like drunk. Well, I think, in her case, I don't know how much dose she was taking. In her case, if she feels it, she doesn't have to take a CBD. You see what I mean? Because
she might be too sensitive to it.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes individual, if you have a million people, one individual respond differently than many people. But I think most of the people that have, in a prescription drug, if it is 50% good, that is very good.
That's right.
But here you have much more than 50% results.
99% are having great.
99%. So I would say that to that individual, that please, if it happens, but if you're taking higher dose to reduce it, if he's taking, say, 25 milligrams, and still she has this loopy feeling, then she doesn't take it. Just
Okay.
take Micro Daily, another product.
Okay. Because I did hear that at one time that depending on your body weight, the amount can make a difference. So maybe in her case, she open up the capsule and just take a small portion of it underneath her tongue. And then that should be enough for her.
It could be, could try. And, again, this is a non-toxic thing. You can try many ways. But if it, despite everything she does, then this is not for you.
That's right. It may not be the thing for her.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But I think, the Micro Daily and what do you call, until if she has anxiety and depression.
Micro Daily will do it. Yeah, Micro Daily is really good.
Yeah,
for
it also will help you. Micro Daily with probiotics and collagen peptides. These are also has important
All
function.
very good. All very good for the brain. Okay. Yeah. Well, we got one more testimonial we wanted to share with you.
Sure.
I'm curious to hear your comments on her as well. Sheron, if we can get you to where we can find you here, Sheron, maybe we can spotlight you, and we'd love for you to share your story, please.
Here is Sheron. Hi.
Hi, Dr. Prasad and Jonathan. I wanted to say that, a lot of times people feel like, young people don't go through a lot, but I did. In my early 20s, I used to have severe pain, and I almost lost one of my 2 children, or they wanted to deliver her like 5 months early because I was in so much pain, but didn't know why I was in a lot of pain. And I was diagnosed with severe endometriosis. I had chronic pain day in, day out, and not natural bleeding that women go through. And I was also diagnosed with osteoarthritis. I had it really bad in my neck and my spine, and it crippled me. I was feeling like I've been electrocuted. Shocks just would go down my neck and back, and I couldn't move. And it would come out of nowhere at any given time, no matter where I was at. I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. I had those, oh my God, from head to toe, I was in pain. Rheumatoid arthritis. And I developed PTSD when I used to live in Houston, Texas. I was coming home one day from work and like they got kidnapped, human trafficking. And from there, I developed what Freddie mentioned, agoraphobia, a fear or a form of anxiety. I didn't want to leave my home because I was afraid of that happening again. And I was placed on several different medications for anxiety, depression, insomnia, because I couldn't sleep. Like Freddie, just thoughts just running through my mind, fear, worries, day in and day out. And I just needed help. And I was telling my whole family, I have a large family, 7 sisters and 5 brothers. And my brother Alex and the rest of my family was encouraging me to continue to pray and try to look for things, and they would be looking for things. And I never forgot the scripture that I read. In fact, I read it this morning, 1 John 5:14-15. It tells us, if you ask Almighty God, whatever you ask him, he hears you. And if your prayers are in harmony with his will, he will answer you. And so I continued to pray and ask for help, because I was in the bed all the time, constantly in a lot of pain and hurting. And I just didn't have a quality of life. And I was young, and in my 20s on up until now, I had continued to hurt. And so finally, when my brother discovered Dr. Prasad's products, he told me about it. I got on them, and I tell you, they work. When I got on the CBD, because I read what it's for anxiety, it's for insomnia, pain, depression. And those are things that I had, and I needed that. And so when I got on them, that's what I felt gave me my life back, because even today, I haven't even taken none of my products, including my CBD. And Normally when it rains, because it's been raining all here all day today, Either the day before, I start hurting so bad, head to toe, but no pain. And it's raining outside, no pain. Oh my God. I just was so happy that
Wow.
I'm not hurting head to toe. And I tell anybody, you know, these products are the real deal. They really work. And Dr. Prasad, I just wanted to tell you, there's some words to a song that say, if you say my eyes are beautiful, it's because I'm looking at you. The world is looking at you, Dr. Prasad, and you are beautiful to us. We thank you for all the products because they really, really help. I went through so much in my life, losing a lot of family members. I lost my husband, my parents, and 3 of my siblings, several of them due to cancer. And that took me for a loop. And I'll tell you one thing, being on the CBD and increasing it and all, it helped me because I've been driving since I was 15 years old. And I was not, the last 8-9 years, I haven't been able to go outside and get in my car and drive my own car. And just last week, I went to get in my car. My brother came and gave me a jump because I don't go many places. And he gave me a jump. He said, come on, let's go around the block. And normally if I drive out of, you know, the neighborhood I live in, that's when my anxiety come on. And it's so bad. It makes like I'm about to have a heart attack. And I go to shaking and sweating and going on. But I noticed that didn't happen. I drove out of my neighborhood, drove several blocks down the street, and I just tears just swelled up in my eyes because I realized that this CBD is really working for me and I might get my life back and be able to drive and be independent. You don't know how it feels to be independent and be able to get in your car and go wherever you want to go and not have, you know, that hindrance, and to be able to get out your bed and want to be around people. I didn't want to be around people. I just wanted to stay in my house, perfectly happy staying in my house. But if I had to go anywhere, I had anxiety attack because of having to go outside of my house. But I noticed it's getting so much better and I'm starting to have better quality of life. So I just want to thank you, Dr. Prasad, and I love you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Prasad.
I can't believe it.
I'm practically in tears. I'm blown away here.
Yeah, me too. I mean, you know, these kind of people get help what we have. I think you and I and everybody should be proud of that. The product that I developed has having so much impact on life. I would have been happy even if it changed one life. I mean, how many people can change one life, you know?
That's right. That's right.
And
no,
so,
you're thousands, and I think you're going to change millions, my friend.
Yeah. So I think thank you very much.
It's overwhelming and it's unbelievable.
I mean, you know, these are cases, you know, that if you tell the story, nobody will believe it.
That's right. No.
But I don't care. As long as she's feeling good.
That's right. Yeah.
Whether people believe or don't believe it, I don't care.
Well, we're talking so far about 2 people who their entire life has been one way, and now their life is a different way.
Exactly. And this is called good quality life. So that, I mean, for me, I have lived life long, but I would say that aging is a fact, but I want people to age with good quality of life. But in case of her, you know, she has right from the beginning, she had this problem, and many drugs those drugs work some, but then it doesn't work. But CBD you can take forever, and then toxicity. And so, but you know, in occasional cases, no toxicity, you feel weird, but then you know, if you don't like in one case or 2 cases, then this is okay. But if 99% of the cases are feeling good about it, how micronutrient and all these things together, don't forget they work all in together because the thing they do by different mechanisms.
That's right.
It is optimizing your system.
That's right. Well, I can tell you, I will never run out of it personally.
Me too.
And, I made the mistake one time of, I think a client called up and needed to buy some CBD, and I thought I had plenty. And I made the mistake of selling my last bottle. I was miserable. I will never do that again. So
I always CBD order in terms of 12 bottle.
yes, sir. Keep a dozen bottles around, period. That's all it is to it. Can we take one or two questions here, Dr. Prasad?
Sure.
And listen, folks, keep your questions as brief as possible. We only have a couple minutes left in our discussion. And for the record, just so that we can make this clear, Dr. Prasad nor I are making any medical claims about these products.
Yeah.
None of the products that Dr. Prasad has formulated are intended to be used as a treatment or a cure for any disease state. Testimonials are purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. We strongly recommend that you seek the competent medical advice of professionals that you trust. These comments, this discussion is not to be considered a substitute for a visit to your primary healthcare physician. Okay, this is for information and education and entertainment purposes only. First question up is Mike and Barbara Atkins.
Hi, Jonathan. I'm Barbara, and I don't have a question. I do have a statement, though. I'm Dolores's daughter.
Yes.
And I want to piggyback on what Miss Witherspoon was speaking on. The CBD is amazing. I say that to say this. September the 16th, 2021, my son got killed.
Wow.
In a trucking accident. And I had to get on all type of medicine just to cope, just to want to get out the bed, just to want to wake up every morning. Started off with buspirone, Xanax, Prozac. I mean, I took all this medicine, and the medicine started giving me, besides my anxiety and my depression, palpitations, constipation, just so many bad side effects that I said, look, I might as well not take nothing. It's already hard dealing with the death of my 26-year-old. And now I got to deal with other health issues that this anxiety and depression is causing me. I have fibromyalgia, and it stayed flared up because of the stress and everything. So I take the products, some of the products, but I wasn't taking everything faithfully. But when my mama, she was like, do the CBD. I promise you, Nissa, it's going to help. Try the CBD. And I would try here and there, but then I just decided I'm tired of feeling this way. The year anniversary just passed in September of last year. And I said, I got to make some changes. I can't keep just being in the dark like this. I can't keep, I got to have some quality of life. Even though I know promises ahead for us, I still got to have some quality of life. So I started the CBD, and I promise you, I haven't been on it. It's been just a little over a month where I start taking it like I should.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a whole turnaround. The palpitations, I don't have the palpitations with those. I'm not dealing with those stupid side effects that come with taking medication.
Wow.
When I tell you that my anxiety, I always had bad thoughts because I always thought something else bad was going to happen. I always thought somebody else is going to get killed, or I'm going to lose another child. I always had those thoughts, but with CBD, I told my mama, it's so comforting to me now. I can get up and I don't have to get up out the bed and my heart already beating fast. I mean, this is things that I actually thought I was going to die taking all that other medicine. And I just went to the doctor last Tuesday past, and I told him, he said, well, how are you doing with your anxiety? I said, well, thanks to CBD, it's better. And he asked me, what is CBD? And I went to telling him what it is. I said, it's a natural product. I said, but I don't have to deal with all those extras that I was dealing with. And I said, it's calming my nerves. I said, I'm not as nervous. I'm not as jittery. No, I still cry. I still miss my son, but it's a different feeling that I just can't explain it. It's totally different now. And I appreciate Dr. Prasad. I appreciate you, but I 100% appreciate my mom, because she's the one that she stays on me about the products. And I'm so glad that I decide to, go full force in and take it.
That's right.
What your doctor said when you told him that you are taking CBD?
He asked me what it was and
Oh, he
what
didn't
was
even
in
know
it.
it.
He didn't
He
even know what it
no,
was.
but I had to explain it to him, and I let him know it's all natural. I said, and it's something that I think everybody should take. I said because it has so many good benefits, and you don't have to have those bad every medicine I was on. It was so many bad side effects. The Prozac, I'm shaking and I'm jittery. The Xanax had me like a zombie.
Oh
You
my.
know, it's just so all these bad things that was happening, it's because of the medicine that I was on. And now even with I when I tell you I went cold turkey, and I know I went through withdrawals, but I went cold turkey coming off this medicine. And but the medicine along with the newer pills and the CBD, all of this is helping me. And if I can tell anyone, I can just tell them, y'all just do your best to try to get it in your budget, but it's worth it, because in the long run, you're going to pay more taking all that other medicine, because you're going to end up having to get on something else, or you're going to end up in the hospital dealing with something. So it's just best to keep trying to do the natural products. But I promise you, losing my child was the worst thing ever. But this, I have some little hope of trying to get my life back again with the CBD, because I was just like Miss Witherspoon. I didn't want to do nothing. I don't want to do nothing. I didn't want to go nowhere. But I'm starting to feel some more and more better, that I want to interact with people again.
Wow.
How much dose Jonathan she was taking?
How many CBD, Barbara?
Oh, I don't over, if it's according to how I'm feeling. I take 2 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the morning, and then sometimes in the middle of the day, I start having a panic attack just because. But when I take I go and take me 2 more, then I can feel it. So it just depends, but I'm taking from 4 to 6 a day.
Okay.
Very good. Thank you very much.
And I think, you're taking just for a month. And after sometimes you might feel, that very good for longer period of time, because you just started it and you have a severe problem. And the fact that even in 1 month you can see this kind of improvement is amazing to me. And I appreciate your statements.
Wow, that's beautiful. And Dr. Prasad, this really just speaks to folks not being afraid to increase the dosage.
Yeah.
That they're not getting the results that they want, just keep increasing it. And they call it titrating. So go up and come.
Those kind of serious mental issue, depression, anxieties, if you take a prescription drug, like you said, she has all kind of side effects.
Yeah.
Here, if you keep looking, like I just said, that for FDA has approved for treatment of this up to 750 milligrams.
That's right. For seizures, yes.
Yeah. And so if you go to 300 milligram a day, it is okay.
That's right. That's right.
And so only side effect of this thing is, suppose if you are in many medications, many people have our medications, and if you go to say 500 milligram of CBD, then it inhibits the enzyme which degrades the medication that you are taking. Say heart medication, and any kind of medication, any kind of and then it accumulates in your blood and becomes very high level that can cause toxicity. But that is only if you do chronically for a long time and high dose of CBD. That's the only caution.
While taking other medications.
Yeah, if you are on many medications, and if you go over 500. Then you have to be concerned that it may not be as good as you think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so it may not be as effective.
Yeah,
that's it.
Because not only that, it may be some effective, but then you have to worry about the accumulation of your medication, high level in the blood, that can cause another kind of toxicity.
Okay, gotcha. All right, we're going to make a note of that so folks can be aware of that as well.
Aware of that, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. Thank you. Patricia Dupree, do you have a question, Patricia?
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Dr. Prasad, I don't have a question. I just want to thank you, because you're a star, whether you know it or not, you're a star. I prayed to find a product that would top all the ones that I've been in for my health. And
you.
as soon after that, Dolores Levat, through someone else, got in touch with me. And now I have your products. And that prayer has really been answered. And it has truly been an answer because I've been in everything, Shackley, Melaleuca, Sunrider. And I prayed and I said, you know, these things are good, but I need something that's going to top all the rest so I don't have to keep looking. And all the testimonials that have been given today are also a part of that prayer because the anxiety is a great part of it, and heart trouble, all the other things. So I want to thank you for being in existence, and I want to thank you guys for your testimonials. And I just want to thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your feedback there, Patricia. That's
Yeah.
very encouraging. Mia has a question.
I'm very excited. That's why I look younger than my age, because of these kind of results makes me so happy. Dopamine goes very, very
Right.
high.
That's right. That's right. Go ahead, Mia.
Good evening, Jonathan. Good evening, Dr. Prasad. So I have one of my dear friends sitting with me. Her name is Teresa, and I got a two-part question. One, her son has Tourette's and already is on CBD, but we want to make sure that with him transferring from a CBD that's in the store to this one, we kind of get your opinion on how, you know, the dosage that he should take. And then two, struggles with Strogums, is it called? Strogums. So I was trying to figure out what protocol should we put her on.
Also, does he take also micro daily?
No, not yet. She's just coming to get on the products. Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he's going to take micro daily as well.
That's what you recommend, yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. And so I think a CBD in the beginning with his, I would say 2 capsules a day to a start, and see how it goes. And if it requires more, you can make it 4. But I would start with 2 capsules, which is a 50 milligram. And because in this case, it is a serious neurological issue. Mm-hmm. And many, one of the treatment of that is that a friend of mine, when he was working on because serotonin level goes way down. And so they used to give what is called tryptophan, is amino acids, very high dose, like a grams, 10 grams. And that used to be very effective.
Right.
But here, in this case, here is the scenario that you stimulate the serotonin, so you can make more serotonin. And you're also giving an antioxidant that can protect the serotonin neuron. And also it increases dopamine, which makes you happy. And so CBD is extremely important in combination with the micro daily. And since how old she is?
Jason.
Oh, yeah, he's 18.
18.
So then he should also consider taking probiotics, because every disease, they have shown that intestinal flora, bacteria, at least we should try for a month and see how does it. And if his stomach feels good, then he doesn't have to take at all. But without knowing intestinal flora, nobody knows it. But this much we know, that even a young person, when he has some kind of disease, then intestinal flora changes in favor of harmful bacteria.
Right.
The only way you can restore in favor of beneficial bacteria, take probiotics. So he can do some experiment, nobody knows, because we don't know about the trial under his conditions. And so, but it is a harmless thing to do it. And therefore, I would say that let's try for a month. And next time when we meet next Sunday, or, after a month Sunday, then you can report to us how he's doing, because I would be very interesting to know that, in it also diet, make sure he takes a good, reasonable amount of protein diet, because protein has a lot of those amino acid, tryptophan, because cell has to have a tryptophan to make serotonin.
Okay.
Yeah, these amino acids. Okay. And so, that kind of medication lasts only for some time, because also you're not doing anything to protect neuron from dying.
Right.
And that's why when you have antioxidant like micro daily, then you protect the neurons so they don't die. And then you are stimulating production of serotonin, which he needs it, and also dopamine that makes him happy. And so I think it will be worth trying it.
I look forward to it.
Yeah. And what about the Sjogren's disease, Dr. Prasad, real quick? What would you recommend?
It's an autoimmune disease.
I don't know. I have to look on this disease. I don't know about the disease. So give me a next
Sjogren's.
question.
What,
Sjogren's. Okay.
Yeah, no, Sjogren's syndrome. Venus Williams has
I
Sjogren's syndrome. It's a debilitating condition, very similar to fibromyalgia, lupus. It's all in that same category. So,
then I mean, I have to look into. But if it's on the same category, then the approach will be very similar. You take micro daily, take
probiotics.
Yeah, and in this case, anytime the brain involvement is there or nerve cell involvement there, we always recommend brain boost as well.
Yep. And take maybe start out with a moderate amount and then just increase a little bit, go to the plus level. But send me a message on that, Mia, and then we'll make sure that Dr. Prasad gets all the information on it, okay?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Prasad. Yep. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Now, listen, folks, unfortunately, we've exceeded our allotted time. I apologize. We got so many hands that are still up here. You want to take one more, Dr. Prasad? Monica Barnes?
Sure.
Okay, Monica Barnes, you got the last word on this. Because remember,
good night. Good night. I didn't know it was up. I kind of lower my hand because I realized you're all talking about the CBD. But
okay.
The situation that I have, I wanted to know if that would help me. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of going through a little depression, a little everything because of what they're telling me what is going on with my body. And it's like, I'm been on the EMF, I'm been on it for a while and everything. But they're telling me that I have 4 dislocated disc in my back, and I'm having a pinched nerves, and it's resting on the nerves, and every time, and it's over 5 weeks constantly. Every day I'm not out of these pain. And I'll be honest with you, I'm starting getting like a depression in mood I'm in, like worrying, fatigue kicking in. I don't know what to do. I said I thought the doctors would help me. I do MRI, I'm in pain management. They put me just on so much drugs. They're telling me I have to go do a cortisone shot in my neck. It's so much going on and it's just getting me nervous. I'm in a panic position right now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that, if you have that kind of locations, only osteopath doctor can help those dislocation fixing it. But hydrocortisone is just a transient one because they think every time you have some pain in because of but hydrocortisone works for a day or two because it is an anti-inflammatory agent, but doesn't work at all. So in this scenario, first, from micronutrient point of view, I would say that you take EMF, probiotics, and maybe CBD. And since it is question of vertebra, I would suggest also collagen peptides. And then see how it works. I mean, our vitamins supposed to be also antioxidant, so pain will be reduced. But since it is a dislocation, somebody has to come and fix that vertebra. And
he said bulge. The bulge is still the same, like this location?
No, bulge is different. Bulge is different.
Yeah, he said 4 disc bulge in the back. 4 disc.
Well, listen, let me comment on that real quick. I've got 2 bulging discs and 2 herniated discs in my back. And I can tell you right now that I take double doses of micro daily, but I also take double doses of collagen daily. And I take 2 CBD a day. And I picked my mother-in-law up off the floor 3 times the whole time I was up in Boston. I picked her up off the floor. And I did not have to go to the hospital, not in traction.
So you suggest no pinched nerves in the neck, nothing like that?
No, I've got herniated disc in my neck and bulging disc in my lumbar from a rear end collision. And I picked my mother-in-law up off the floor.
So you would suggest me to do this CBD?
And collagen. Make sure you add the collagen to it. So the discomfort, listen, I would have trouble picking up my toolboxes and putting them in and out of the car. So I could not do that. When collagen daily came along and when I doubled my doses of micro daily, it was a new day. That's all I can tell you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Prasad. And thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you. See, these are new things that I'm learning.
Yep, I hate it. Dr. Prasad, let me tell you something. I was doing manual labor all this summer down in my mother-in-law's basement. I haven't done that kind of work in a long time. I did not have back problems.
Great. Good to
Your
know. Good to know.
daily was a game changer for me. So it's a new day.
Good.
So thank you, Dr. Prasad,
Thank you.
for everything that you have shared with us today.